Ty, it's a pleasure for me to have you in our show today. I know it's a challenge for you to speak in Albanian language, but I can't resist asking my first question in Albanian. Si je, Tie Domi?
Miriam, ti si je?
Faleminderit. Okay.
Undi pak.
Tell us more about your parents, who they are, where they were born, when and how they ended up in living in Canada.
My father is from Albania. My mother's from Pristina, and they met once, and they connected by letters. They're writing letters back and forth, and eventually they got together, and they got married, and the old-fashioned way. And they came to Canada. They immigrated to Canada, and my father was one of those guys who, as soon as he got here, he started working, and he did a lot of different things, and eventually started making some money, and he started bringing relatives over more and more, and so he kind of started his own little circle of Albanians, which was very nice. And growing up, having that circle of Albanians was quite a treat, and a lot of them are doing very well now, and it's a credit to my father, and they always remind me that my father did a lot for them, and people I don't even remember or know, they send me nice letters or emails and tell me what my father done for them, so it's very nice.
Who was the most influential person in your family, the one who in a way might have shaped your Albanian identity? I guess your father?
Well, there's no question it was my father. Yeah, I learned a lot from my father. I was kind of his boy, that he kind of kept me involved with everything when I was a kid, and he used to keep me out of school sometimes and take me around with him and do different things what he was doing, and I learned a lot, believe it or not, as a kid. I took a lot in, and he, like I said, he was an entrepreneur that did a lot of different things, and I learned a lot from him. And the one thing I did learn is his work ethic, and never give up. And he always, even when he was down and out, he still found a way to do it. And my father was at the top for a long time, and then when he had his downtime, he truly, and I truly learned a lot from that, because you really see who your true friends are, and people that you've done things for, see if they step up and help you out. And I was fortunate enough, I was well aware. I was a young kid, but I still knew what was going on. And then when my father went through tough times, I saw the people who were there for him, and so it helped me out a lot. But saying, you know what, when you're successful, and you have true friends around you, you keep things balanced. You always keep your feet on the ground, and I learned that from my father. And treating people, I think, the way you want to be treated is one thing my father taught me too, and I think that goes a long way in life and anything you do.
How come an Albanian boy ended up in being a hockey player? Hockey is not an Albanian tradition.
Well, as much as I'm Albanian, I'm Canadian too, right? And that's a Canadian game. But I was a soccer player too. I had an opportunity to play soccer and go to the States and play college, and I could have went to Europe and played soccer, but I chose to play hockey, and I didn't choose it because I was better at hockey. I chose it because I was probably tough. I had that Albanian blood in me, and I always had that reputation as being a tough guy that wasn't that big and didn't take any what from people, and it was just in my blood, I guess.
In a way, you anticipated my question. Everybody in the community, when talking about you, would say, look at him, he's 100% Albanian. I believe they would refer not only to your blood, but mostly to your character traits. Do you agree with that?
I think Albanians are a rare breed. We're known to be tough people, and it's in our blood, but at the same time, we're known as hardworking people that will give their soul to anybody, and that's a nice reputation to have. So I'm very proud to be Albanian, and my heritage, and my father is the reason why I became who I am, and taught me a lot of values about life when I was a kid, and they're still with me now. And it's too bad he didn't get to share the rest of my career with me, but he did see me play my first year in NHL. And the only thing I really wish he saw was my kids. He didn't get an opportunity to see my kids, and he was crazy about kids all the time. And it's unfortunate, but I think about him every day, and I still, think about him. When I see my kids, they ask about him, and so it's. I got a big picture of him in my place, and my kids have pictures of him. So, he's still in our hearts and in our minds every day.
You have earned a reputation as a tough player. Do you feel used by Canadian hockey, or it's the other way around? You used it to better convey your skills and strengths.
Hockey was good to me. It gave me, obviously a name in this country, and probably one of the more well-known names in the country. And I did what I had to do on the ice, and part of that was, taking care of my teammates. And so you instantly become popular when that type of stuff happens. But when you do it for as long as I have, I'm one of two guys that done the role that I did in hockey and played over 1,000 games. So I think people got used to seeing my name and face on TV so much, so I became a household name in Canada, and it's nice to be known. It's nice to be recognized. You got your ups and you got your downs, and sometimes, as you know, being living here now, you see that I'm in a public eye, and people take advantage of things. But if it's not one week, it's the other week that I'm in the newspaper and front pages about different things, and it just goes with the territory, and things get blown right out of proportion, and when you're at the top of your game or top of the public eye, people always want to take shots at you and try and knock you down. But I'm Albanian; they can't knock me down.
You mentioned being raised in an Albanian circle. Do you still keep ties and relations with the Albanian friends here in Toronto?
Well, I have some Albanian cousins that I'm very close with. But when I was a kid, I went to all the Albanian flamurs and Baidams and all that stuff when I was a kid in Detroit. And it was quite an adventure going there, because my father always was driving, and he was always the first car, and he always got everybody lost. That was our trademark every year. My dad got everybody lost. But it was a lot of fun. You got to see a lot of Albanians over the years. And when I go to Detroit or when I go to New York, there's a lot of Albanians that recognize me, and they're just come up to me and know I'm Albanian. And you get to know these people. They're very nice people, and a lot of them are very successful. And it's nice to see Albanians who are successful that are educated and do the best they can. And it's in their blood to do. If they get an opportunity, to do it at their best ability. And I think that's the window I had as a hockey player. I had a window, and I took advantage of that window, like you said, and I made the best of it for a long time. And life goes on. I was always in business, because my father always told me, when I started my career, you better do something else. And so I started in business. Actually, after my first year in the NHL, I lost my father, and I started thinking in the back of my mind, my father was telling me, I better start something else. So I started getting involved in business. So I didn't think I was going to play as long as I did, but I kind of used my business and my hockey hand in hand, and it's benefited me for sure. And so I'm taking seriously as a business guy too, not just as an ex-hockey player or a hockey player, whatever you want to look at it. People respect me as a business guy too in this country, which is nice.
Mr. Besnikonci, who is the Albanian ambassador and the person who actually introduced me to you, was saying the other day that a visit is being organized for you to go in Albania. Can you tell us more about this visit?
Well, I look forward to going to Albania and seeing, what it's all about. My father has told me it's the most beautiful country in the world. That's my father's line. But it would be nice, and I got to work on my Albanian skills. I understand it, I just don't speak it too well. My grandmother lived with us growing up as a kid, and of course she talked Albanian to my father every day. So, and she spoke to me in Shaitan, Kapigoyas, those type of words I remember. but you know, my father called me Bubby, so you know, that was something he called me. He didn't call me by my name; he called me Bubby, and you know, I really learned to eat Albanian food when I was a kid, and I still do. I go to my mother's as much as I can, usually on Sundays, and she still cooks all the food I loved as a kid. And Albanian food is something that you just, there's nowhere else to eat than Albanian food. It's great food, and I grew up with it, and I think that's what made me so strong.
So what about the visit? Is there any visit planned for next summer to go to Albania?
Yeah, we're trying to organize it. You know, I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen, and I really look forward to it. And it would be nice to see the country, you know, where my parents are from, and my father, you know, he'd be proud that I'm going. And I told my kids I'm going to be going, and my kids are really excited that I'm going, and they want me to take pictures, of course. So it should be interesting. And you know, if I end up doing any kind of business in Albania, it would be obviously great for Albania, because they have a lot to offer there, and I think they need the right people to be involved to start doing more business, to create more jobs in Albania, and I think I can help them in many ways.
If your father was still alive and could watch you being interviewed for an Albanian show in Canada, what do you think he would be saying to you afterwards?
He would say, "Bobby, it's the best country in the world." He was a character, my dad. There wasn't a day I ever saw my dad not happy, you know, and God bless his soul. He was a good man, and you know, I think about him a lot. And now that we're doing this interview, I think about him even more. You know, it's nice to talk about him and know that he was a big part of my life and my success. And if anything, I look forward to going back to Albania and see what the country is really all about, and how great it is, and how great he told me it is. So it would be nice to really see how beautiful the country is, and more importantly, I think meet the right people to do the right things and try and help Albania in any way I can. And you know, having a name in North America, I think I have a lot to offer to help them, and I look forward to seeing if there's any opportunities.
Faleminderit Tie Domi, edhe shpresoj që të takojmë përsëri në intervista të ardhshme.